Hi guys, and happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, September 4th, and I'm going to show you a little bit of everything today. We're going to call this everything but the kitchen sink, because I'm going to show you some watercoloring, I'm going to show you some dry embossing, I'm going to do die cuts, we're kind of going to do the whole gamut. Okay, so every fall I think about the fall colors, and for some reason I think about my watercolor pencils. And then I have to figure out, oh my gosh, where are my watercolor pencils? I haven't used them since last fall. So I also bought the new painters, and let me tell you, I had to reach out to one of my stamping groups this morning because I couldn't get the twist off. I'm twisting and twisting and twisting. Well, it goes the opposite way. So thank you. I think it was Diana on my stamping group. Thank you. I was going crazy. I couldn't figure out how to get them off. So anyway, we're going to use some watercolor pencils. We're going to use some dry embossing. We're going to do a little of everything. We're going to start with the watercolor pencils first though, so it has time to dry, because I don't like using the heat tool if I don't have to. Okay, so what we have here is we have a piece of basic white, and we have a piece of shimmery white. Now, yes, you can use watercolor paper. I don't tend to use it. I feel like I get just as good results. I'm not artistic about my watercoloring, so I don't feel like I need the watercolor paper. But these are both 1.5 by 3 3/4. And we're just going to show you side by side how they work. Okay, so we have two sets of watercolor pencils. You have the originals and then the watercolor 2. So they tell you on the back what the colors are. So I'm going to use this because I'm going to use, let's see, Cajun Craze, Crushed Curly, and maybe Balmy Blue. I don't know. And you have to be really careful with these. If you've dropped these, you've probably broken the lead. And so then when you go to, and I still have a pencil sharpener, an old pencil sharpener, but you're probably going to have to go ahead and sharpen them, and they might break a couple times until you get past that break. So like I said, I'm going to use Cajun Craze. Maybe I'll use Garden Green and Balmy Blue. So there you see, there's those 3 colors right there: Cajun Craze, Balmy Blue, Garden Green. I said I was going to use Crushed Curry though. No, I'm going to use Cajun Craze this time. Okay. So, and what you also have to, now you can see I don't have mine to a point. I have found, let me go ahead and take this away for now, when I'm coloring, that if the more you do on the side and don't have stark lines, the easier the watercoloring is going to be when you go to blend it. So I like going on the side. So again, this is the basic white. This is the shimmer white. Go ahead, go on the side here. And as you see, I'm not trying to get any of those real big pencil marks. This one might be hard because I'm going to have to get to the point where I sharpen that soon, because I'm getting, oops, and see there, I did a little bit too much of an actual pencil line. Like it being more that fuzzy look versus the line look. Okay, so let's go ahead, put those back in. Put them off to the side here. Bring out my chamois that I got at the dollar store. Now you could use your Stampin' Up! Chamois for this, but I just find that this works a little bit better and it soaks it up faster. Okay, give it a little squeeze over here. Make sure those bristles are wet. You can see the water on my finger, so it's wet. And then I'm just going to go over and blend those lines. See how it goes from So I just have a nice little blend Take a little of that color off there. And I'm going to go over again and just blend it one more time. All right, so that's on the basic white, and you're going to see it's going to start to curl. All right, let me go ahead, squeeze it a little bit, push it a little bit more so I can see that water on my finger. There we go, there's that water. And this is the shimmer white, remember. So see how we're just getting a nice little soft watercolor look. I'm going to take a little of that color off and go back up there and draw that out. All right. So as you can see, your paper is going to start to curl. I'm just going to go like this really quick. Take a little of that extra water off, and we'll leave it up there to dry. It doesn't take long to dry. We haven't introduced that much water. So I'm going to leave the basic white over here, and I'm going to leave the shimmer white here. And you can kind of see a little of that shimmer come through. Not sure if you can see. All right, we're going to leave those there. All right. Now, okay, so now let's get into the actual card stock. So since I have two here, I'm going to end up doing two. So I have Old Olive. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Those are going to be our card bases. Then I'm going to have some Cajun Craze. That's going to be a layer. Going to have, these are going to be my words. So these are the basic white. I'll give you the measurements in a little bit. You know, I'm going to give you the measurements now just so you have them. This is going to be much longer because it's going to tuck under. So the Cajun Craze is 5 1/2. So it's going to go the length of your card. I might cut that down to 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. You know, and I am going to cut that down to 5 1/4 right now, because I do want to leave a little bit on the one side. So let's go to 5 1/4. Just take off that little bit. All right, so these are now 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. Your little sentiments are going to be 4 1/4 by 1 1/4. See, that's going to be just a little bit, and that's going to be covered up. And then we're going to use a scrap of mossy metal after we do our cutouts. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll move the card bases over here by the drawing paper. Let's get out our Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. Oh, I think, did I tell you? Yeah, we're using Forever Fern today, again. So of course, there's Fern and Olive again. Remember my Grandma Fern, my Aunt Olive. Okay. And this is on page 73 of the annual catalog. One of my favorite numbers in the world, 73. So there's that Forever Fern. So we're using that stamp set. And when I originally bought it, it was a bundle. So we have dies. So a few of the dies are already out. They're on my magnetic plate here. Let me see if I can pull that up without... I have a little magnetic plate that sits on my stand that I put all of my little dies that I'm going to be using. I always have extra sentiment strips, and that was from birthday cards. I did my 60 birthday cards, and I used that double scallop punch. So that's why those are in there. All right, so let's go ahead, and we're going to be using our base 1, base 2, and 2 of our 3 plates. All right, let's go ahead and put that down. Let's get out the dies that I'm using from the Forever Fern. Let me put a cutting pad down first so I have to rearrange that. So here's this die here. We're going to use this die here. And we're going to use a bunch of these little ones. Now, if you have multiples on your cardstock and you're not going to use washi tape, double stick tape, whatever, only run it through once. You don't want to run the risk of these dies moving, and then you have potentially ruined your die because they might go on top of one another. And I have had that happen once, unfortunately. See, that one keeps moving? Yes, I don't have any magnetic plates, but just the curve of the plate. So you know what, I'm going to put it way over here. I'm going to try to save some of that, but I'll just put it way over there. So here we have all our little dies. I'm going to put that plate down, angled and straight down. I'm kind of going to put my fingers over until it gets under that push board, especially on these little tiny ones because I don't want them to move. So then get your fingers out of the way. All right, let me set this down. Let me close this quietly. I'm trying to remember that, guys. I never realized how loud it was. All right, so let's go ahead, get those dies right back on to that magnetic plate because I don't need to lose any of these little tiny dies. Oh, that one fell off. See, I don't have my, I have to do it. All right, let me get my take your pick tool. Usually if I throw it down, it kind of comes off. Only when I'm recording does this happen. All right, so there. So there we go. Put it on that plate. There's the last one on that plate. There we go. Okay, so we have, let's get some of those little tiny ones off. Here we have 1, 2, 3. I don't know where that fourth one went. 1, 2, 3. Is it stuck on a die? It might be stuck on a die. Did I notice that? Nope, it's not. All right, when I lift up my plate, it might be there. So as you can see, and the only reason I'm taking care with this one is there's so many little intricate cuts. You don't want to take off a frond, but as you can see, it all cut through beautifully. There's that one little piece. Take it out of there. So there's that. There's that one. And I don't know where that other little frond, oh, there it is. There's the other little frond. Okay. Let's go ahead and put this over here. All right. By now, your sheets are dry. See, completely dry. Again, basic white, shimmer white. So now what we're going to do is, while we have this, oh, see, I didn't need to close my stamp and cut emboss machine because I'm going to use it again. But we're going to emboss this time. We're going to stamp and then we're going to emboss with the leaf and the fern folder. Let's go ahead and stamp first though. I have Cajun Craze and Old Olive. And then the fronds from that stamp set, Forever Fern. So let's put that one in that one. That one and that one. And I'm going to do I'm trying to stamp over where that color is the most concentrated. That way it kind of smooths that out too. Oops. All right, so that's not the greatest stamping there, but since it's watercolored, I'm not too worried about it because guess what? Watercolor is kind of a softer look anyway. And if you wanted to, you could go ahead and you could have put this on your layer already, so it would have been flat. But like I said, I'm not worried about it. There's our little stamp. This is the reason I'm not worried about it. We're going to run this through our folders. I'm going to do the white, the basic white, and the leaf fall 3D. And I'm going to do the shimmer white in the fern. Another reason why I wasn't too concerned about it curling a little, because it's going to flan down after going through this. Since these are both 3D folders, you're going to use your platform 1 and your platform 4. That's it. 3D embossing folders, 1, 4. Bring Stampin' Cut Emboss machine again. Let me move those over the side so I don't worry about where I might have lost them at. Let's bring them down. All right. Now remember, 3D folders. You're going to go through one at a time. Your bind, your hinge, is either going to go through this way or go through this way. Because of the pressure, you don't want it to be at the tail end, because that pressure will build up and it could crack that. I haven't had it happen to me, but I have heard it happens. So we're going through first with the Fern 3D on that shimmer white. And there's hardly any pressure. Except for the clunking, you wouldn't think that it's gone through at all. But look at that. Hopefully you can see how that embossed. Okay, and that's the shimmer white. Let's go ahead and run through one more time. This is the basic white, and we're going to use the Leaf Fall 3D folder. Same thing. You don't want it, and I'm going to angle it kind of. You don't want it to, you want the binding to go this way or this way. Not this way. Never this way, never upside down. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll run this through. Like I said, you don't even think anything's happening because it goes through so smoothly. But let me go ahead and bring that out of there. And so you can see. Very nice. All right. Close this quietly. All right. Now I think we're mostly ready to go. Let's go ahead and grab our base. We're going to be using the Love and Laughter Forever After. It's great for a wedding card, or you can even use it for an anniversary card. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with that one. Alright, so I'm going to get out my Cajun Craze again. These are the two that are 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. No, 1 1/4, sorry. I'm going to go more towards the right side of the cardstock. All right. Make sure that's down there. Take my Stampin' Seal. Run this. And this is the one that's 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. So it is larger than your layer, but we're going to tuck that up underneath the other. Just making sure I have that nice border all the way around. Okay, on here, I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. Now, usually when I run it through an embossing folder, I don't use my Stampin' Seal. I'm always afraid it's going to tear the paper, but this basic white is really strong. So I think it's a little bit different than its predecessor, Whisper White, because I haven't had any problems with it ripping. So there you go there. Let me go ahead and grab my trimmer. And since I want a very thin line, I'm going to go to the inside where the ruler meets the gray part on here. That seems to give me that nice edge. If you want it smaller, you would go to the inside of this white, the clear track. But let's go ahead. There you go. Nice edge on that. All right, I don't think, yeah, I don't have that a scrap here that's going to look good on that. So let me go ahead. Let me go under my desk here. Pull out my scraps. See if I can find a scrap. Maybe I'll do it with the old olive. That's going to be two-tone on tone. I really need that mossy meadow. Let me see. Here we go. Let me see if I have another. Hopefully this is long enough. Excellent. All right. Again, I'm going to get my, before I push it down, I'm going to make sure that I like the edge all the way around. Press it down. And I'm going to line that up to the edge there. And the edge there. There you go. All right. So let's go ahead. Now what I'm going to do on this, I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to cut like right about here. I'm going to show you why in a second. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down how I think I want it to look. And get a couple of those down here. I'm going to see if that's how I like. And see, I like how that looks. So I'm going to leave that there for markings. I got a twisty, one of my leaf twisties that are a little bit longer. I'm sorry. I have these twisties for our leaf bags, so they're longer than your normal twisty. I went ahead and cleaned out my fine tip glue, so it will work. I always like having another piece down, just because it's more liquidy. So I don't know if you can hear it. And I hit it down there once. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some on this leaf. After I get it down, I'm going to hold it up so you can see. It's not very... Don't tell me it's done. I just made my example a few minutes ago. And I'm afraid it's clogged up again. So let me go all the way down. Yep, there's glue on there now. So let me go ahead. I have this taped to my pole. Shake it down again. And I'll show you here in a second, because I know it's probably hard to see. But it is such a fine point. All right, so let me see. Oh, there. Can you see how there's little bits of glue on there? All right. So now what I'm going to do is, let me find a leaf that doesn't have glue on it. And I'm going to kind of tuck that under, press down. Now if you have glue, see how there, it's going to dry clear. So don't worry about it. And you can use your multi-purpose glue. I just can't get a fine beading out of it. Beading, not beating, beading. So that's why I like this fine tip glue. it's not hard to use, but the maintenance, you just have to make sure that is always clog free. All right, so now let me go ahead and run my seal along that edge, leaving a little bit of an edge there. And let's see, this is the basic white one. Yes, this is the basic white one. Run there. Again, keeping that. And that looks perfectly fine on its own, but you know me, a little bling. So these are the Leaf Label and Amber Gem combo pack. They are in the July to December mini catalog. So these are leaves that are for labels or tags. I find that if you want to use them on cards, you just hide that little hole part. But let's go ahead and put a couple of those amber gems on there. I wish they sold the gems just by themselves. They are so gorgeous. But who doesn't like leaves? So it's always good to have one around. All right, so there's that one. Let's go ahead with the other one. Let's do the same, but this time, see how I have this here? So I'm going to be able to do like this and this. So let me go ahead and get some of that. I'm trying to hear if it's raining out. My husband, of course, just left with the dog for their walk. I think I'm going to go down like this, and I'll snip that little bit off. I think then I want that to go kind of up like that. Let me figure this. Nope, I'm going to go like that. And go like that because I want to cover up that little stem where I cut off. There. Yeah, we'll go like that. And let me go ahead. I thought maybe I would put that over the top, but I'm not going to. All right, so let's go ahead, put that down there. See, that way it looks like it's one continuous leaf. Go ahead and snip that off. Oh, see, and this is why it clogs. Let me go ahead and do that wire before I shut it up, close it. That way. Sorry if you saw my belly in there. So let me just go ahead, go all the way down. Let me go ahead and put that stopper in there with that little needle. That way, hopefully now it's not clogged the next time I go to use it. All right, let me get that straight again and back on my little tape piece on my tower here. Sorry. If I don't put things away though, when I'm thinking about it, then they get lost. Okay, so let's go ahead. Put that there. This, see how this one, I covered it up completely. I'm trying to figure out, do I like it having a little bit of that showing? I don't think I do. All right, there. And let's get a few more of those ambers. No, down there. I feel like there's too much there, but if you wanted to, you could always take your Versamark and do a few more of the little leaves from that stamp set. Or you know what? Oh, how about little dots? Let me make sure it's clear. That just gives it enough. And just because I can do more, I will do more. There we go. Now I really have a lot to put away. Oh my goodness. I wish you could see my little work area. All right, so here's the ones we just did. Oh, we have a couple of these left. If you wanted to put them in there, you could. I'll put them in my little magnetic thing and I'll use them for another. So there's the 2 we did today. Here's the 2 I did to prep. This is a regular opening. This is a ledger opening. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great Sunday. Have a safe Labor Day. I might get on tomorrow. Not sure. Depends. It's my paid holiday off. So I may do that. Or, hey, I may prep for my Watch It Wednesday, Finish It Friday. Yes, I'm going to start pre-recording stuff. So on Wednesday, you'll join me and I'll show you the pieces that you're going to use on your card. And we'll prep them like we did here, but we won't put them together. We'll just do all the little pieces. So you'll watch it on Wednesday and then on Friday, we'll finish it. So watch it Wednesday, finish it Friday. All right. Have a good Sunday, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.